of our, uh, acquire nature. It's not our true nature to feel in this way, but it's something that we have created all together in our society through the years. And we feel bad if someone um, discovers something wrong about us. So it's a really lack of self-esteem, lack of self-confidence. But it's normal in a sense that all of us, we have had moments of experiencing these feelings. So the first thing I would say is that every one of us knows the sting of guilt and the weight of shame. And guilt whispers, I did something wrong. And shame screams, I am wrong. But now, especially myself, I have discovered, and we know, that deep inside exists a quiet presence, untouched by judgment, where you can find peace, where you can find love, where you can find stability, where you can find wisdom, and especially where you can find this self-respect that will allow you to overcome these limited feelings that limited your capacity to express your whole potential. So let's journey together back to that presence, the place where really healing begins. And the first thing I would say, about what I've said before, is the thought that you are not your mistakes. You are the awareness or the conscious being that learns from them. So this is the whole idea. We need to transform our perception of what is a mistake, or what is a failure, or what is doing something wrong and make a really mistake. But we have to change the perception. And instead of feeling bad, all the work, the inner work that we need to do, is to change perception and to understand that we learn through mistakes. And the more we are open to this new perception of life, the more we become mature, the more open we become, the less fear we have to show vulnerability. And then it's so interesting. When you don't have this self-respect, you think that if others discover your mistake, or they know what are your internal feelings or thoughts, or whatever maybe you have done, they will reject you, because rejection is very connected with all these feelings. But the interesting thing is, when you are more open, you speak openly what has happened to you. You speak openly about your weaknesses or mistakes, and what have you learned from them, with neutrality, with vulnerability, instead of instead of people rejecting you. What happens is that people admires you. People want to be with you. People feel attracted to you because this is what they want. They want to be natural. They want to be open. They want to be rid of this feeling that limits them, their natural way of being. So this is the main idea. When you think that, or you feel that you have done something bad, you know what happened? You create a feeling of being a victim. And when you are a victim, you cannot change, because the victim justifies himself or herself, or blames others. No, this is not my fault. This is your fault. No, I didn't do this. You have done, or the other person has done that. So, the victim remains in their own place and maybe please others, and others change their vision, and you have not done this, okay, but your internal feelings are not so good, because you are not being honest with yourself. And this is one of the main things in life, This is what I've learned. At least be honest with yourself and you will feel good. But if you are justifying yourself, if you are, in fact, cheating in one way or another, then inside yourself, your consciousness, in one way or another, will bite you. And you, if you create this habit, because sometimes it's a habit, people will notice that. And then maybe they don't reject you, but you will not be able to create really good relationships. So instead of being a victim and justifying yourself or blaming others, when you make a mistake, you can create responsibility and you can think about how to repair this and you can change that and you can learn from that. And if you think about yourself when you were a child, we have learned to walk after making a lot of mistakes, falling down so many times. We learn to eat and we have, no, I don't know how you say, drop off, no, the food and dirty everything so many times till we learn how to take the spoon and how to take the food inside. But we were children, so we didn't have these kind of feelings. So we were repeating and repeating and repeating till we were able to eat, to walk, and to do so many things. But then we become more adults. And in the world of adults, especially in workplace, or in connection with others, sorry, then we feel that we have to be perfect. And this is why when I work with different executives or managers, they have this kind of attitude of trying to be perfect in everything what they do, but externally. So be a good person, do everything perfect, everything clean, everything in order, everything. And they are not able to say no to anything. They always say yes to everything, trying to please others. Because if not, maybe they reject me. And then I will feel really bad because these feelings are connected with the other ones. And if I make a mistake, I feel so guilty, so bad. But because in fact, many times the thought is, what will others think about me if they know that I have done this wrong? And this creates a deep feeling inside of pain and suffering. So when you change that and you say, okay, I made this mistake, I can learn from that. Everyone makes mistakes. This is the reality. So I will learn from that and I will try to make it better next time, or even better than better, because now I know. Then everything changes. But for that, we need to, and this is I would say, this is the challenge. People in general nowadays don't take time to pause, to reflect, to learn from their lives or their behavior, to check their lives, to revise what has happened, and to see how they can do it in a different way. So if you don't take this time, if you don't pause, then it's impossible to realize what you need to change or what you need to do differently. And I said it's a challenge because nowadays there are so many things to do. Everyone is so busy doing all sorts of things. And when they have time, they are so much distracted with the mobiles, with the social media, with series, with films, with cinema, with so many things that it's like doesn't exist the possibility to stop and to change and to reflect. You know, I've just arrived from India. Yesterday I arrived. And I was there for a retreat. It's called Peace of Mind. And I went there because my grandson, he's 19 years old. He told me a few months ago, yes, he told me that he wanted to go with me to travel with me, because I send him photos from the different places where I am giving lectures or doing workshops or retreats. And he was interested and curious. And he said to me, I would like to travel with you and see a little bit more what you are doing. So I said, I said to him, do you would like to go to India? Say, oh yes, I've never been there. He likes very much traveling. And then I said, there is a retreat about spirituality, peace of mind. Do you want to go? Oh, yes. So he organized his studies for having 1 week free. And we have been there for 10 days. And at the end, he was really enjoying, and he was participating, and he was going to the classes. I was a little bit surprised, because I was thinking that maybe after 2, 3, 4 days, he will say to me, oh, Enrique, this is too much for me. I want to do other things. Or I had this thought in my mind. But no, every day he was saying to me that it was nice. He was learning. It was very interesting. It was more than his expectations. And well, he has its own criterias and capacity to discern what he accepts, what he doesn't accept. But he was not rejecting anything, and well, open to everything. And at the end, I asked him, what have you learned through this retreat, all these days, knowing so much people, having good conversations? And it was interesting, because he said, I've learned to talk to myself. I've learned to be with myself and know myself better, because usually I'm so busy doing things in my normal life, studies, friends, family, going to dinner, going to cinema, going here, going there, doing this, doing that, extra activities, sports, gym. So I never have time to stop, to pause. But the thing is that he was saying, when I have time to pause, then I see a film, a series. I, I am distracted with the social media, no? But here, I have had time to be with myself, to reflect on myself, to talk to myself. And also we had nice walks together, long walks, because there was a lot of time for us. It was a very special opportunity to be relaxed with no limitation of time. So we worked together, and we had talks about his life. He was asking about my life, about my past. I was asking about his experiences and how he thinks, and what was thinking about all these things that we were learning there. So I was surprised that for him, such a big, important discovery was to have time to talk to himself. And this is the challenge that I was saying before. Generally, people don't create, because this is the idea, create the time to pause, to reflect, to observe, and to be with themselves. And if you don't create this time, it's almost impossible to realize what are you saying to yourself, what are the internal dialogues that you have in your mind related to these feelings or other feelings similar to these ones. And usually is this internal dialogue that you talk to yourself in a very bad way, with criticism, with using even bad words. No, I remember I was doing coaching with a high-level executive. She was a woman, and she was explaining something, and then I say something different, and immediately she said, "Oh, sorry, yes, how stupid I am," and she continued to talk, and I say, "Stop. Have you heard yourself? What you have said?" And she said, "No, what I have said? I was talking to you," and I've said, "No, no, you have said something to yourself. You have not listened to that?" "No, what I have said?" And I said, "You have said this. What a stupid I am." "I've said this?" "Yes, you have this." This is the way you talk to yourself when you say something different from the other person, or when the other person corrects you a little bit. Oh, yes, usually I say to myself many times, how stupid you are, how stupid you have not, you were not be able to say this, or you were not prepared for that, how stupid I am. So if you talk to yourself in this way, imagine how would you feel inside yourself. So if you don't pause and don't find time for yourself to realize and to be able to observe the kind of dialogue that you have internally, you cannot change anything. And this is the first point. Observe your dialogue and learn the art to create a dialogue which is more compassionate. And this is why mindfulness or meditation and self-compassion, it's so important. Mindfulness is the practice of being present, being aware of what is happening right now in the present. And for that, you need to stop, to pause, and to observe yourself. Meditation is going a little bit deeper and connecting with your inner being. We will talk a little bit later. But first, you need to be mindful. You need to be aware of what is happening inside yourself. Because, and this is my experience, but I observe in so many cases with so many people, whatever you create in your mind and you repeat it, creates the experience in your life. It's not the circumstances and situations, it's the internal dialogue that you create constantly about the situations and circumstances. So if you feel that you are, when something is different as where you were thinking or other people were thinking, and you think that this is a mistake, then you will feel all the time guilty. And you will say to yourself, stupid, you are not worth for that. You are, you will talk in this way. But if you start to understand and change the dialogue and understand that there is a common humanity, that we all make mistakes, but we learn through mistakes. We need to repeat some situations to really know how to do it well. You know, I start to go with motorbike when I was 18. And the first year, my parents didn't know that because I didn't tell them. But the first year, I had 5 accidents. It was my good luck that nothing really serious happened. But 5 times I fall down, and sometimes really I feel pain, but finally nothing happens. But 5 times, 1 year. But you know how many things I learned through these 5 times? I've learned how to go with when it was raining, be careful not to press the brake too much, because then the motorbike goes in different directions. I learned how to keep a distance from the other cars. I learned how to not to go too fast when I was giving a curve. No, so many things. Yes, it was through painful experiences, but I was not feeling bad to myself. I always had some kind of, I would say, self-esteem, and treat myself in a kind way, I would say. But through meditation and through these years of practice of more spirituality, I've trained myself to create a friend inside myself. And this is the way I deal with my mistakes. I still make mistakes. And I say it openly. Sometimes I say more than really what is happening. And some people say to me, you practice meditation, so you never become angry. And I say, well, maybe one day you see me angry. And what will happen? If you feel upset with me because you expect me never to be angry, and you see myself being angry one day, it's your problem. No, it's not my problem. I can tell you that, yes, maybe one day I react and you see this reaction. And what? I will continue to learn. I will have another situation, new situation to learn and to know how to deal with this situation. But I will not try to please you and try to be perfect if I'm not that. So this kind of internal dialogue I have created in my life, so that I don't need to be good in the eyes of others. What really I feel that I have to be is honest with myself and be natural as much as possible. Of course, there is always something that is not perfect in you, and you behave in a not the perfect way. But as much as possible, be natural, be myself, and express myself as I am, and don't try to be perfect in the eyes of others, but try to be normal in the eyes of others. You see? So this is why mindfulness, being mindful, be able to observe yourself is so important. And second part, self-compassion. Learn to treat yourself with kindness. Treat yourself with love. And it's very easy. People say, how can I do this? And it's very easy. Just think about a good friend of you, very good friend of you, that you love it or her so much. And this friend of you make a mistake, a really bad mistake, something wrong, really wrong. And he explains to you, only to you, because he feels guilty, he feels shame, he feels so bad. And he comes to you because you are his good friend, and he talks to you and says, you know, this has happened to me. So what do you think your friend will expect from you? Criticism? What stupid you are. What have you done? Imagine that you say this. No, he will expect from you, oh, don't worry. This has happened to many people. What are you learning from this? How can you change this? Come on, let's go. Let's talk about other things. You know, you will say something with love, with a tone of voice, soft and sweet. Maybe you will hug him or her. Maybe you will give the hand and you will walk. Maybe you will explain a good moment of her life and to remind him or her about this moment and change the energy, the perception of the feeling. Maybe you will explain something funny to create a different kind of feelings inside. You will do many things, and they will come out from you very naturally because of love, because you appreciate this friend, and the feelings, they will touch the friend. You know, I, because of my role in this spiritual path, I can talk to many people, and many people come to talk to me. And because they feel confident, they explain to me things very personal, sometimes very intimate things that they don't explain to anyone, because they feel a lot of shame if someone will know that they are doing these things. And I don't judge, just listen and give them hope and encourage them that they are learning. And I emphasize their virtues or their specialities. And I try to neutralize or normalize whatever is happening, because the truth is that to all of us, it happens almost the same things. In different levels, of course, but almost the same things. There are not many things different, but we think that only to me this is happening. And then you feel very, these bad feelings. And it's very interesting because guilt makes you feel like a victim, as I said before, and you try to defend yourself. But shame is like, shame makes you isolate from other people, you know? Shame turns into isolation. So it's so important that you are able to express yourself and are able to talk about what is happening to someone who you trust or you have confidence. Because when you speak about it, when you are open to it, then it's like this energy of shame and these feelings inside, they dissolve. And then it's like light comes again to your life. So this is why self-compassion, you need to talk to yourself in this way, but also to find someone you can talk and express yourself. Someone that will not judge you, someone that will see your beauty, someone that will give you love from what you are, not from what you have done, you know. And nowadays, I observe, and as I said, it's my experience also dealing with many people, that many people needs someone that doesn't judge them, someone that can listen in a detached way, in a neutral way, what they are experiencing or what they have, you know, thinking. I remember another case, one young uh, teenager. He was around 19, 20 years old at that time. Now, I think has passed 5 years and I still have a contact with him and he's really okay and doing very well. But at that time, his father, who knows me, he said to me, he has thoughts of suicide, very negative thoughts. So maybe you can help him. And I say, I'm not an expert on that, but I can have a conversation with him. So he came and he was really, I can observe in his posture, in his way of speaking, he was really with a lot of internal bad feelings. And now I can understand that there was some kind of shame about the thoughts that he had about himself, about life. So he was very timid, not shy, very shy, not speaking too much. I was asking questions and I was taking out a little bit of information about him. And then I say to him, what kind of thoughts do you have in your mind? And he said, I cannot tell you. You will feel very bad if I tell you my thoughts. So he was feeling this feeling of shame and not wanting others to know what is happening. So I was very direct because I knew. And I say, you have thoughts of suicide? Ah, yes. How do you know? Well, I know. So then I start to speak very normal, neutralizing this. And he was feeling so calm. And he was able to start to express himself and express his feelings and express his thoughts. And suddenly he was changing his posture and I was very more open. And then he wanted to come back. And we had several sessions. It was several conversations and then some meditations. And slowly, slowly, he was getting more confidence. He was feeling better. He was realizing that was not so serious what was he's thinking. And now he's doing very well. He is working. He is living a good life. He's traveling. And he has changed even physically. He goes to the gym. And he is really much more, you know, stable, and even her face, her voice, her tone of voice has changed completely. And he meditates and he appreciates the work that we did, but he finds meditation very useful for his internal training. So this is what I said before. He create time for himself to process these thoughts, to understand himself better. But at that time, it was very helpful for him, the help that I was able to offer. And the help was just be open, not judgmental, and neutralize whatever thoughts he had. So you need to do the same with yourself. I do this with myself because it's so interesting, because I talk to so many people and I know the things that are happening to so many people. So if something happens to me, even less than happens to other people, I can talk to myself in the same way, because I say, this is happening to so many people. So let's learn from that, but don't feel bad about that. And many times I've observed in my life that my mistakes, my shortcomings, or the things that has happened to me that were not really, I would say, good, they give me the experience to understand better other people when they are passing through these same things. So every time that something happens to me, now I understand it as a training for helping later people who are passing through the same situations. And you know, when you know what other person is passing through, and you have passed through that, and you have overcome that, you don't need to say this, but you say to the person, it will let you go, it will leave you, you will overcome this. And the person feels that it's true, receives the energy of your effort. Are you following me? I'm not sure if I'm explaining in English so well, because sometimes I don't find the exact word. But the idea is, when you pass through a situation and you overcome it, so you have the experience of what is the feeling and what is the final result if you overcome it, you have this experience, this energy inside yourself. So when other people come to you and explains about something similar, it's not exactly always the same exactly, but there are very similar things. And you say to them, you will overcome this. It's possible. You can do it. You will do it. It's not words. These words are, you know, covered by the experience. And then the person feels something like, wow, yes, I can do it. It's possible. And I always use this word. It's possible. I don't know how you will do it, but it's possible. You can do it, you know. I've passed through a very harmful situation when I was young. I got married. We had a child, my daughter, and then we were divorced before starting this spiritual life. All this happened through 6 years, no? Getting married, having a child, and then, well, we were not mature enough to continue the relationship, and it was very painful. But I've learned so much, because this situation, with perspective, when I see it with perspective, and I mean many years now later, thanks to this situation and this pain and this suffering, now I'm here. Now I'm really enjoying life, because it helped me to look for something to relieve this pain. So it was the trigger to start a spiritual life. So it was very interesting. So when I meet people, so many people who explains to me similar situations about relationships and the pain of a divorce, or the pain of a break of the relationship, and I say only, I can understand you, they feel that I understand, because I have passed through the same, and then I can help them. So with the years, I've learned to use all these situations for becoming better, more mature, more expert, and for helping others. But the main thing that I've learned, and that has helped me a lot in my life, was when really I joined the Brahma Kumaris and I received the knowledge of who am I? Not only who am I really? Because who am I? Sometimes we think that we are what we see, the labels that we have, the things that we do. But when I received the knowledge of understanding that we are much more than what we see or what we do or what we have, and when I practice in silence, go inside myself and get in touch with this inner being, the true self, my spiritual true identity. And when I connect with that, and the first time that I experienced beautiful deep peace, silence, and calmness, it was so beautiful that I said to myself, I want more of this. I've never had this experience before in my life. Never such a deep peace. Very nice moments of my life in beautiful places with beautiful people, but this deep internal peace that everything was perfect inside, quiet, silent. Wow, was incredible. So I said to myself, I want more of this. And then I said to myself, no matter what happens externally, I don't want to lose this beautiful experience, no matter what. So this thought helped me a lot to overcome so many difficult situations of mistakes, of shame, so many things, because I want to continue to build this beautiful energy of peace, of calm, of silence inside myself. And I continue building that. It's not that you do it some moments and it's forever. No, you need to practice. So I need to practice every day. And this is why I'm meditating from the last almost 40 years every day. And I've asked myself, why are you doing this every day without fail? And it's because I get a lot of benefit. This is the reason. I'm not the person who does things because of other people say to me or to please others. No, I only do what I feel that it's important for me. And I've seen so many benefits of being mindful first, learn to talk to myself in a different way, second, but third, go inside more deep and connect with my true identity of peace, love, wisdom. There is such a beautiful wisdom that is inside ourselves. Everyone, when you touch this internal space where you can find so many answers to so many things. So then you have a tool, you have something inside yourself all the time where you can go and experience. It's like go home, go inside yourself, go back home, go back home. And the last thing, and this depends on your beliefs also, of course, but when I've learned the art of connecting with the divine, with someone or something higher, a higher consciousness, I would say, in silence, is not praying, is not asking, it's just connecting. In silence, feel the connection with a being of light, full of love, full of peace, the ocean of compassion. And feel the vision that this being has on you. Loving vision, kind vision, compassionate vision. This heals deeply the self. This heals deeply your heart. And then you feel someone really understands me. Someone really loves me. Someone really knows me deeply. No need for words. It's just an experience. But you need to do the first steps to reach that point. Because first step that very few people does, remember, stop, pause, reflect. So this is the first step. you cannot reach the other steps if you don't find this. And this is one of the challenges nowadays, as I said before. But then be mindful, observe yourself, learn from yourself, realize what are your thoughts and your dialogue. Then learn how to change your dialogue. Be more self-compassionate with yourself. Then go a little bit deeper inside and practice this meditation of connecting with your true self, experiencing the beauty that is inside you. Every human being has this potential inside, this beauty, light, and energy. And then you will feel that is something more. When you are beyond a little bit the body, beyond the limited things, beyond this material world that it seems so real, but it's very illusion. Then when you go a little bit more beyond that, you can experience that there is something more, much more beautiful, divine, subtle, and then life becomes something completely different. And then you are able to empower other people and help other people because you know how to empower yourself. You know how to talk to yourself. You know how to create peace in yourself. You know how to deal with situations in your life. And you build the self-confidence, the self-trust, self-respect, and life changes completely. So I wish you that you find the time to reflect and and to learn all this art of knowing yourself, being with yourself, and also connecting with the divine if you believe that is possible. So now, if you have any questions or anything that you want to comment.
Could we have the meditation first?
Oh, yes, the meditation, true. So sit comfortably and take a deep breath. And connect with this moment. And allow your mind to be quiet for a moment. Go inside yourself and find a silent space inside yourself, which is your home inside yourself. A place where there is peace, where there is love, where there is compassion, where there is wisdom. And see yourself as a being of light, much more than this body and this form and this character. See yourself as a conscious being. See yourself as energy, beautiful energy, full of potential. And if there are these feelings of guilt or shame, just feel as your light dissolve these feelings and they disappear like smoke. They are nothing. They were just an illusion. Your own light, your own beauty starts to shine. And the limited feelings dissolve and disappear. Remember, you are light. You are a conscious being. You are a being of peace. You are a being of love. You're a compassionate soul. You're a wise soul. This is your true identity. Connect, feel, experience, and become. And now remain in silence for a moment, accepting and absorbing these new beautiful feelings. Just one moment of silence. And now breathe deeply. Move a little with your body and come back.
Thank you so much for taking us through that meditation. Excuse me. First question, that there's a number have come in, but the first question, is it possible to overcome shame and guilt when they come from a situation in your life? Sorry, when they come from a situation in your life that it still exists, especially when you don't have the courage to change it.
Deep question to answer in a short answer. Every situation is different. The life of each one of us is different. But I would say that always it's possible to change these feelings. But there is the need of going inside and connect with your self-respect and empower yourself with the energy of spirituality. And then you will see the situation in a different way. This is the thing, that we need to perceive same situations, same circumstances, same people in a different way. And when we perceive in a different way, feeling changes. And you can always repair something, always. And if it's not possible externally, you can repair it internally. And you can leave the past be the past and continue to move forward, creating a new future. But it's important to know that every day you can create a new future, new present and new future. But don't live in the present, the past, because then the future will always be the past and you will not change. So it's possible, but you need to create a new future now in the present time, perceiving things in a different way.
Thank you. That was very hopeful. The next question is an interesting one. It's one I've heard people come in and talk to me in a space about, so I look forward to hearing your answer. How do you feel about AI being a non-judgmental friend? I've recently had to confront someone dear to me who had been gaslighting me. And to discern the best course of action, I consulted AI because I knew it would be non-judgmental.
What means gaslight? Or
Means that they completely ignore you. They cut you off completely.
okay. Mhm. And the questions then was
So the question is, The person consulted AI because it knew it would be non-judgmental. What are your feelings about having AI as a non-judgmental friend to guide you?
Well, I feel that AI can be very helpful in many situations, of course, but I will not create a personal relationship with AI. This is, I would say, it's easy in a sense because it's a machine, in fact. But if you talk to a person with confidence and explain all the feelings that you have internally, it will help you much, much better, much more. But again, to the same situation, you need to reinforce yourself. You need to empower yourself so that no matter what other people does to you, it doesn't affect you. And also the next level is even the people that reject you or they, you know, ignore you. If you are in a higher level of consciousness, you even can give them good wishes, good feelings, good thoughts. Doesn't affect you. And you also can give. So think about yourself that it's possible to become more powerful and not be affected with what with other people does. This is their own way of thinking and understanding life. But you have many possibilities to meet other people, to do other things, to learn from yourself. So the problem is that many people expect from one or two persons so much that if this person are not giving them what they feel or that they expect, then it's like life has no meaning. No, open to life, open to people, open to the world, and you will see that life is completely different. If one person doesn't uh, give you attention, no matter, give good wishes and be open to other people in your life.
Just on that, Enrique, would you agree that AI is a source where you can get ideas or information that you may not have thought of before? In the sense that I know that I've used books in that way in the past. It's helped me rephrase things in my mind so that I've been able to grow. Would you agree with that?
Of course, I use AI constantly. It's my personal assistant. I have a secretary, I have a writer, I have created several, agents, what is called, and they make my life much more easy because they help me in so many ways that I don't need to work like before.
Mm.
For example, now we have been asked to do some videos for coaching, for a master in coaching, no, this is professional work. And we did before something similar, and to write the scripts, to correct the scripts, to edit the scripts. So it was so much work of editing and writing. So now I've given all my ideas. Of course, it's not the ideas of the machine, it's my ideas, but I'm not a perfect writer. So the AI has made the writing, the editing, everything, has prepared me the video. So I need only to read the video and perform the video. It was really 10% of the work that before I had 100% of the work. So I think it's very useful, but we need to be mindful again and not get trapped on it. It's a machine that will help you, and you have to train the machine to help you in the best way you can, but not make the machine a human being. And this is what I'm seeing, some news that they arrive, no, that people are creating a relationship with the machine. No, this is not the right thing. People are people and human beings are human beings, but use that for having more time to meditate. you know
I love it. Thank you. That's very helpful, that distinction. Next question. At work, you are judged on your performance. How do you cope with criticism without feeling dejected and continue to value yourself in these situations?
Yes, this happens. And we need to know that people sometimes are, they have a lot of pain inside in general, because I deal with so many people. And the way to express the pain is not in the right way. And sometimes is to project this pain, this suffering in others. And the way to do it is to criticize others, to judge others, to see the defect on others. So for that, this is why it's so important, meditation and spiritual understanding of life, because it gives you an understanding of what is really happening. They are not criticizing me. They are expressing the criticism that they have inside themselves. So when we realize that it's nothing personal, then we can deal with the situation in a different way. And there is always something to learn in every situation. Maybe I've done something not right technically. Okay, be humble and say, yes, it's true. You are right. Please help me. Teach me how to do it. And I have been very honest also in my jobs. And I say very clearly when I didn't know how to do something. And never they have, what do you say, fire me. Never. The contrary, they wanted me more because they felt that I was very honest, vulnerable, open, humble, wanting to learn. What is the problem for that? You know? But again, is the fear of not being accepted. Is an illusion that we create in our minds. But don't accept this criticism as something personal. Accept it as an opportunity to learn, and with curiosity, ask, what is happening? Why do you say things? Okay, how can we do things in a different way? But again, for that, we need to empower ourselves. This becomes easy when we create this internal energy, this internal strength. If we don't create this, then we will suffer whatever the other people say to us. And it will be very difficult to deal with that. We need inner power, and especially nowadays. But there is so much suffering that people are expressing their suffering and pain to other people. We need a lot of strength, not only to not accept this, but also to be able to give them what they really need. And then relationships change completely.
Enrique, can I ask you two more questions, if
Yeah.
that's okay? Firstly, the first one is, what if you don't have anyone? The person is saying they've lost their two best friends, and these two people they could talk to with trust.
It's the question.
The question is, what if you don't have anybody in your life that you can speak to with trust?
Well, this is again a perception. I now, of course, after this internal work that I have done, I can create a friend everywhere. And I feel very comfortable to talk to them openly because I know that we are passing through the same things. I know that it's not a problem to talk about yourself. I know that there is no problem about your experiences because they are very similar to other people. And they say, I've passed through the same thing. Yes. Oh, I'm giving a lot of lectures in Spanish, most of them. And my style is to explain about my life. And many people say to me, oh, you explain so personal things and in video, everyone will know. And I say, what's the problem? They feel connected with me because they are passing through the same things. So many people are passing through the same things. So don't think that there are only two people in your life, that there are not now. There are much more people in the world. But you need to be open, and you need to create this relationship with others with openness, with vulnerability, And sometimes the other person is not like this. Okay, no problem. There will be another one. But be open to opportunities to meet other people. Be open to possibilities to meet people that are similar to you or have the same thoughts like you. And enjoy life. Don't be limited to only these two people. There are many people that you can talk to.
And the final question. The person is sharing that they have a medical situation that they are at peace with, but they don't choose to share this with others because in the early days, there was a lot of judgment which caused them to experience shame. But they do wonder whether they should just be open and hope that people are non-judgmental and compassionate.
Well, this depends on the situation. And because if something is not, sometimes people have some health problems and they speak all the time about this, and their life becomes the problem, the health problem. So sometimes it's not the best thing to talk about all these things, but to talk about other things, or to talk about the good things or the specialities or the possibilities. So I'm more declined to be constructive. And if there is no need to talk about something that will not give benefit to others or will not be constructive, so let's talk only these to very close people who can understand your feelings and who can help you really to deal if you need help, but not is no need to be very open in this sense. I was saying be open more in your way of living, but there are some things internally that is not need to be so open to other people because maybe they don't will not understand what is happening. And at the same time, again, the same answer than before, we need to be detached from the opinion of others, and we develop this inner strength to be able to deal with different opinions and different ways of understanding and people who are judgmental. I've met so many people who are judgmental towards me, but finally I I am detached from them. It's just an opinion. It's not me. It's what they think about me. Okay. It's their own thoughts. And they are connected, now I know, with how they talk to themselves, how they feel themselves. They must be very judgmental inside. So then I can have compassion to them. So this will be in the next step. Be compassionate. Don't accept critical things. Don't accept judgment. Be compassionate, and everything will change.
Enrique, it's been an amazing evening. So many people are sharing thank yous. Thank you very much. I've loved the talk. It's been incredible insights, and you present remarkably well. Wonderful talk, heartfelt, thought-provoking, deeply moving. I think these are just some of the words that have been coming through from people as a thank you. So we look forward to welcoming you back for another talk. And maybe when you're in London next, maybe we could get you to do an in-person event with us. It would be great to have you. I think everybody would enjoy that.
Thank you so much, Arti, for the invitation, and I've enjoyed also to share these thoughts and about my experience. So I hope we will continue to do this kind of activities.
Thank you.